Hello, sir. Welcome to us. Happy Teacher's Day po. At ngayon, sasagutin namin ang mga katanungan nyo para sa amin. What is stage management? Isa po to sa mga pinaka-importanting role sa lahat ng prod kasi siya yung responsible sa pag-organize at pagpapatakbo ng performances. Kaya dapat confident siya, magaling mag-organize, tsaka mag-manage kasi siya din yung mag-i-initiate ng task para masundan yon hanggang matapos yung prod. Siya yung nagfa-facilitate ng process para mas maging creative yung production. Siya yung nagko-coordinate ng flow ng mga informations, tapos ginagabayan niya din yung mga kaprod niya, ganon. Siya yung may hawak ng cue sheets, daily records, tapos kailangan niya ingatan yung mga records kasi siya yung mag-a-update sa attendance, oras, and iba pang bagay tungkol sa mga kaprod niya. Next.
Okay, ano nga ba ginagawa ng isang SM? Una, kapag pre-production phase. So first, gagawa muna siya ng initial list of actors and yung roles assigned sa mga actors na yon. And from that, gagawa siya ng contact directory ng actors, ng directors, and other other people na part ng prod. Tapos isi-survey niya and draft yung rehearsal schedule. So survey niya yung director and the actors' availability. And there, saka siya magda-draft ng kung ano yung magiging schedule for the rehearsals na pwede rin namang maging subject to change pa over time. Tapos, magsisecure din siya ng SM kit. So, examples ng laman ng isang SM kit ay yung mga pang-measure, mga metro, yung tape for spiking, ipa-prepare na rin niya yon, markers, mga stapler, scissors, and the like. Para pagdating ng rehearsal phase, ready na yung SM para sa mga ganun na parts ng rehearsal. And lastly, yung initial list din ng props, costumes, and yung set design. Aalamin din niya yon in coordination with the set, props, and costume committee, and as well as the things na probably needed din pagdating ng mga rehearsals. Kailangan na rin niyang ma-secure sa time ng pre-prod. Next, for the production phase.
Okay, sa production phase naman, ang ginagawa ng stage manager, una, chine-check niya yung attendance ng artista at na staff during rehearsals. Second is sinusupervise at chine-check din niya yung mga designs ng mga production staff like yung set designer and etc. Tapos, aside from that, tinitake note din niya yung mga blockings at mga instructions na binibigay ng director na kung saan ito yung ang gagabay sa stage manager upang mabuo yung tinatawag nating prompt book na ginagamit niya every time na rinarun niya yung show. Then next is every after rehearsal, trabaho din niyang gumawa ng rehearsal report at mag-advise or magkaroon ng announcement para doon sa susunod na gaganaping rehearsals.
So what does a stage manager do during the show? So during the performance night, the stage manager is considered as the commander-in-chief. So nasa kanya na talaga ang kapangyarihan to command the stage. And they are responsible for overseeing the performance from preparation to finish. Of course, this is to ensure that everything runs smoothly. And at this point, the ability of the stage manager is tested. They should make themselves proactively available in case of unforeseen circumstances, such as replacing the actors who couldn't make it to showtime. Ayun lang.
After production, for post-production, the stage manager is left up to tie loose ends. They must oversee production evaluation with the entire company, otherwise known as post-mortem, as well as fully participate in this evaluation. And they are also still responsible for a lot of the schedules that they need to give to people. They need to make sure that everyone knows when the post-mortem is and when to clear out the rehearsal rooms or their dressing rooms, and when to return the materials they use, like props or anything like that. They have to collaborate with the production designer. And they also need to clean up their production book, which ideally they should have been doing for the whole duration of the production. But since this is the end of the production, they need to clean up, they need to tie up loose ends with the book, because now this book will serve as documentation for the entire company and to make sure that people know that they've done this production for this company.
During the pandemic and proliferation of online theater, do you think a stage manager is still essential? Yes, essential pa din po yung stage manager kasi siya nga po yung nag-organize ng mga ganap sa prod, siya yung dumidisiplina sa rehearsal pati sa mismong performance para masundan nila yung mga dapat mangyari. So kahit online, kailangan pa din talaga natin sila para magabayan tayo sa mga mangyayari sa buong production. Yun lang po.
Dagdag doon, kasi ngayong pandemic and kapag online yung setup, mas mahirap mag-manage ng time for everyone. Mas nabablur yung line between our tasks within and outside the production. Kaya dito, mas nagiging essential lalo yung stage manager. Hindi man katulad ng role ng SM ngayong online setup, yung role ng SM nung physical setup na talagang in charge siya sa blockings ng performers. Kasi iba na yung concept natin ng blockings dito sa online setup kasi yung performers, nakikita lang siya within the corners of the screen. Doon lang tayo gumagalaw. Pero time and task management-wise, dito pumapasok talaga yung essence ng isang stage manager. Kasi siya yung mag-organize and magpapatakbo talaga ng buong production. And siya yung tutulong sa time management and task management ng directors, ng actors, at lahat ng involved sa isang production. Ayan.
Para naman sa akin, yes, the role of the stage manager is very essential. Dahil para sa akin, yung pagkakaiba lang talaga is the platform na pinaggagawan or pinagtatrabuhan ng stage manager. Noon, physical, ngayon, online. So, yun lang yung parang pagkaiba. And the same thing na ginagawa ng stage manager is the same pa rin. Like, halimbawa, yung pagkakaiba lang nila is kapag gumagawa ng production book, noon, it's a hard copy, physical. Ngayon, pwede na siyang soft copy or through file na lang. So basically, yung ano talaga is, yung pagkakaiba lang talaga is yung platform. Pero still, essential pa rin yung role ng isang stage manager.
Okay, in my own opinion, even if we are away from the physical dimensions of theater, especially the stage na turf ka ng isang stage manager, this does not remove the power of a stage manager to perform their job. As long as theater is functioning and alive, so do is the need to have a stage manager. And based on my experience of online theater, yung operations naman at functions ng isang stage manager ay intact pa rin, tulad ng operations nito ng physical pa ang paggawa ng teatro. And it is still essential to have stage managers online because it is them who preserves the connection and ordinance across the production. At tulad nga ng sinabi ko kanina, a stage manager should be able to make themselves ready and proactively adapted sa mga unforeseen circumstances. At isa na nga doon ay yung bigla ang pag-shift o transition ng setting ng teatro sa online. And ayun, kung whatever man ang isang sitwasyon. Ayun lang.
I do think a stage manager is still essential. In fact, I think they're doubly necessary for online theater because the convenience of physicality is not there anymore. People can't just manage people physically anymore because we are separate from each other now. And it's harder to maintain clear communication, which is why stage managers are so necessary to keep multiple lines of communication up between the members of the production. As well as, since online theater is a very new platform for theater people, it's such a fresh thing and problems are much more likely to occur now, because in a show, in a physical show, at least, people already know what they're supposed to do, and a production manager is merely there to guide them. But now that we're doing shorter shows and on a very foreign platform, stage managers are basically the core of the production now. And yes, I do agree that they are still very much necessary for online theater. And that ends our presentation for our perception of what a stage manager is and what stage management is. Thank you for listening, sir. Happy Teachers Day. Have a great day.
One, two, three. Go.
Hello, sir. We are Group 1, and we're going to be presenting our production analysis of the Seagull, or ang Tagak. The way we divided this was we each picked an act for each member to present, because we compared notes and we decided on which act would be better for us to present from our personal notes. And the template that we decided to use was the one that you recommended in your resources, which was the Stage Manager's Toolkit by Lori Kingman. So I will be doing Act 1, and we're just going to be discussing the methods that we used in order to determine which information to put in our table so that it wasn't so convoluted and bloated. The way we divided our scenes, since there was no explicit division between scenes, we just decided to label them from 1 to however many through the situations that the characters were in, like a shift in tone or shifts in units or beats. And that's how we determined it. The pages that we used for uniformity was the Filipino version of the script. However, I read the English version, even though, it's the same, as you said, it was the same props and the same dressing anyway. So scene 1, we all took note of the entrances and exits of each character. And since Act 1 is an establishing act, it introduces all the characters and introduces the situation, the characters were all documented in the character column. Since Act 1 is set in a park setting, I made sure to take note of, the backdrop of the lake, and there should be trees and shrubs since it is a park, as well as the explicitly stated dressing in the stage directions, like the stage and the curtains, as well as the small tables and chairs. And as for lighting, during this time of the act, they mentioned multiple times that the sun is setting and it's getting dark. So I took note that the lights should be dusk or dark-ish lighting. The props, I'll use the first scene as an example, since it is the establishing shot. I wouldn't say shot, but it's the establishing image of the play. The workers are already on stage, as I mentioned. So the workers should have hammers, because they mentioned that the workers were hammering away behind the curtain, as well as the sound of hammering behind the curtain. I skipped this actually. Masha and Medvedenko are the first characters to be seen at the start of the play. And at the very start, one of their dialogue is that Masha is wearing black. So I took note of that, even though it wasn't explicitly stated. I did the same for all of the scenes in Act 1, including Masha's snuff and her snuff box, as well as Soren's walking stick. And I don't know how to pronounce her name, but Konstantin's mom's cigarette and lighter, even though they didn't really mention that she had a lighter, it was implied. As well as, when Nina gets on stage and wears white, as well as the 2 red lights or 2 red spots that I will consider as a lighting choice for the devil's eyes, quote unquote devil's eyes. So that's basically the method that we use to determine what kind of stuff that we put in our tables. And for the rest of the acts, I will, for Act 2, I will volunteer Lloyd. Go ahead, Lloyd.
Hello. Ayan. Okay, so yung i-discuss ko ngayon, yung actor ng The Seagull. Okay, so sa Act 1, kung mapapansin natin, yung setting niya was gabi. Sa Act 2 naman, dito, yung setting niya is broad daylight. So, yung Act 2, hinati ko siya sa 6 na scenes. Tapos, yung general setting niya, dahil yung buong act is magaganap lang sa isang setting. So, ito po yung pagka-analyze namin sa general setting niya. So, yung location po nila is isang hardin na may damuhan at mga halamang namumulaklak at isang matandang puno ng limon. At sa kanan bahagi, bahay na may malaking terasa sa harapan. Sa kaliwa naman, ang lawa ang makikita. And then yung lights, so since na-mention siya na broad daylight yung yung parang magaganap. So yung setting ng light natin is daylight and yellowish, parang sun-kissed. Tapos yung mga props naman, katulad ng mga common props like the libro na ginagamit ni Dorn, ni Arcadina, ni Trigorin. And then dito sa sound naman, nilagay ko siya sa opening scene na since nasa feeling sila ng nature, di ba? So, nilagay ko dyan yung nature's ambience like winds, birds, crickets, at tubig ng lawa. And doon sa mga tanong ko naman, yun isa sa tanong ko kung anong magandang pangbungad na music sa pagbubukas ng eksena aside from the sound effect or the nature's ambience. Tapos yung isa ring question is maririnig ba ang tunog ng lawa or may tunog ba talaga yung yung tunog ng lawa, no? Tapos isa rin sa pinaka-highlight ng Act 2 is dito kasi present yung image ng Tagak or the Seagull. So pwede po pababa. Baba, sige. Bali sa scene... Okay. Sa scene 5 ng Act 2, kung saan pumasok si Constantine at nagkasalubong sila ni Nina, doon ipinakita ni Constantine yung image ng isang patay na Tagak. So isa rin ito sa sa pinaka-highlight talaga ng Act 2, yung pag-present ni Constantine, na kung saan ito rin yung pinagbisehan rin ng title. So yung mga common question lang talaga na ko lagi nilalagay ko dito is anong klaseng bulaklak yung pinipitas ni Nina, anong klaseng notebook or yung kwaderno na ginagamit ni Trigorin. So yun yung parang mga tanong ko na common dito. At saka yung entrance and exits nila. So ayun lang yung sa Act 2. So ibibigay ko na yung mic kay Janina para sa Act 3.
Okay. Katulad lang din nung ginawa ng mga nauna, naka-note din dito sa akin yung entrances and exits of the characters and kung ano yung suot nila, yung possible na suot kung hindi explicitly stated sa script ilalagay, pero kung naka-state naman, ayun, kakopyahin lang kung ano yung nakalagay doon. For example, dito kay Trigorin, dahil meron siyang katayuan sa lipunan at nakalagay dito na nananghalian siya. So, pwedeng meron siyang pamunas at bib na gamit habang kumakain. At yung lights, of course, sa simula, naka-state talaga dito na nanananghali si Trigorin. Kaya, dapat maliwanag. Dapat tanghali, maliwanag yung araw, maliwanag yung stage. Tapos, of course, kapag may tanghalian, merong mesa, may mga upuan, kubyertos, kopita, mga plato, and of course, yung mga pagkain na kakainin ni Trigorin. At si Masha naman, nakasuot pa rin siya ng itim na bestida sa point na to. At nagsasalin din siya ng alak sa dalawang kopita. So meron ding alak na props na gagamitin. So yung ginawa ko sa section ng props, hindi lang yung mismong props yung nilagay ko doon, pero kung ano yung ginagawa sa props ng mga characters na gumagamit nun. Tapos mostly dito sa act na to ay conversational lang talaga kasi siya at nasa loob lang ng bahay. Sa pahuling part lang sila lalabas kapag paalis na si Trigorin. Kaya tahimik. Marami ring mga parts ng conversation na merong saglit na katahimikan, mga nakalagay na ganon. Kaya, yun, isa rin yun sa mga questions ko actually na kung tahimik ba talaga all throughout. Ayun, tapos yung nilagay ko dito na isa pang question ay kung sa simula lamang ba nakatungkod si Sorin dun sa page 35. Kasi before pumasok si Sorin sa ibang mga scenes dito sa act na 'to, walang naka-indicate na meron siyang dala-dalang tungkod. But at this point, meron na siyang tungkod. So ang tanong, meron na ba siyang tungkod nung simula pa lang, hindi lang talaga nababanggit? Or kung hindi, kung dito talaga siya nagkaroon lang ng tungkod, paano niya nakuha yung tungkod? Saan niya nakuha? May nag-abot ba sa kanya? Or nakalagay siya sa isang sulok sa stage? Ayan. Ayun nga, katulad na nasabi ko kanina, talagang nasa loob lang sila ng bahay, kaya conversational lang, wala masyadong mga sound effects. At meron pa nga maraming mga points na katahimikan lang yung ano, kaya tingnan natin sa Act 4 kung ano yung magiging vibe and magiging setting ng play. Okay.
Okay, so to start the closing act of the play, actually it mirrors out kung sino ba yung mga unang characters na pumasok sa Act 1, yun din yung mga characters na mga unang pumasok sa Act 4. So si Masha at Medvivenko, just like my groupmates, I also have noted or dropped down yung entrance and exits ng bawat character. So for the setting ng Act 4, 2 taon na ang lumipas from Act 3. So, ganun kalawak yung jump ng scenes. So, ang setting sa Act 4 ay a typical sala ng isang bahay na ginawang studio para sa manunulat na si Constantine. So, ito yung may mga pintuan sa kanan at kaliwa, isang lamparang may pantalya, may bintanang Pranses sa gitna na nagtutuloy sa terasa, isang mesa na sulatan sa sulok, and whatnot, yung mga bahay ng mga higher social status noon. So yun yung typical na setting dito na makikita sa Act 4 ng ang Tagak. So for the lights, nilagay ko dito as described sa scenes ay madilim ang kwarto at ilaw lamang mula sa isang lampara. For the props naman dito, makikita natin na pangatlong beses ko nang na-mention yung isang lamparang may pantalya. Why? For the first one, kaya siya nakakategorize under the set dressing column is because before pa man din pumasok ang dalawang character sa eksena, ay matagal nang nakasinde at nakalapag ang lampara doon. And for the lights, yun nakasindi kasi siya doon, of course, to give effects and to enhance the emotion that the scene would like to express to the audience. And for the props, there will be a time as the scene continues na makikipag-engage ang isang character or certainly si Masha doon sa lampara. And for the sound naman, nilagay ko dito ay lumalagitik ang puno sa labas, umuungol ang hangin, tutok-tok ang sireno. For the first two concepts, it is the typical sound of a thunderstorm. So, ganun kasi yung tunog or yung weather nung panahon na yon. And aside from that, dito sa baba, ang na-mention lang dito na may costume ay si Arcadina, ang pagbasok ni Arcadina. Ang nag-describe ng costume niya ay si Shamrayev. Ito daw ay isang elegante at buhay na kulay na kasuotan. Isa pa sa mga props na na-mention dito ay ang magazine na dala ni Trigorin. The magazine is the I don't want to say volume, but issue ng magazine noon na kung saan it contains the work of Constantine. By this time kasi Constantine is famous na. So it kind of entails or siguro exudes the significance na kung saan Trigorin likes to open up the conversation kay Constantine, or to mention the elephant in the room. Kasi di ba parang may awkwardness na nabuo dun sa dalawa. So the magazine kind of gives it significance or essentiality dito sa last part. And it is also notable kasi dito lang din siguro makikita, I'm not sure, but correct me if I'm wrong, if I think this is the second time siguro na nagkaroon ng conversation, but the first time na makikita natin that the character of Constantine would accept Trigorin. And that it would present the transition of how Constantine behaves around Trigorin. And also, I also post questions here, like, I think it kind of resonates sa question din ng iba na kung saan, may pagka-vague yung mga eksena, like ilang pinto ang makikita sa kanan at kaliwa, ilan at anong itsura ng mga silya, because it has been mentioned na may mga silya dito, but hindi explicitly nabigay na kung ilan at kung ano ang anyo nito. So, ayun din kung saan lalabas ang mga bawat characters, saan manggagaling yung tunog. I think this is my question dito talaga, na talagang tinatakbo ang curiosity ko. And also, dito talaga ako parang, not na, wait lang, how do I say this? Pero ayun, parang medyo malabo siya, ganun. Because before mag-proceed sa eksenang ito, ay maririnig na beforehand ang tunog ng tawa ni Shamrayev. But then, ang unang papasok sa eksena ay si Arkadina at Rigorin, and then sumunod si Shamrayev. Pero nang pumasok na sila, doon lang siya binate ni Shamrayev. So my question here is, nakita at nagkaabot ba sa labas si Arkadina, Rigorin at Shamrayev? Which I think is possible to have happened. Ayun lang naman for the first half of Act 4. Papasa natin kay Miss Ynna, Rafa for the latter.
Kadugtong po ng kay Juge sa Act 4, ito naman po yung para sa page 51 to 59. Ang ginawa ko po sa character or costume, ganun din po kapag may pumapasok o lumalabas na character, nilalagay ko na din siya. Tapos, pagdating naman sa costume po, 55, page 55. Yun, nabanggit doon na maganda at marunong mag-bihis si Arkadina, tapos tinanggal niya yung alpiler doon sa suot niya. So parang sinasabi doon na mayroon siyang alpiler sa costume niya. Tapos yung sa page 56 naman, yung nagmamadaling magsuot ng sombrero at kapa si Nina. So doon nababanggit din yung kasuotan nila. Then pagdating naman sa set or dressing, kung ano yung mga gamit na nakalagay, nababanggit. Kunyari yung mesang sugalan, istante ng mga libro, tapos yung pintuan na may lock, yung pintuan na walang kandado, tapos may silya, ganon, yung bintanang princess na matatanaw ang hardin. Ayun, mga nabanggit lang din po yung sa script, tapos nilagay ko lang dyan. Tapos sa lights naman po, page 51, depende din talaga siya sa nababanggit sa script. For example, yung sa page 51 nga po, yung masamang panahon. So, dapat may ganap din dun sa lights na nagpapakita ng masamang panahon, ganon. Tapos sa page 54 naman, nabanggit din dun yung sa liwanag ng buwan. Dapat maipakita din sa lights yon, ganon. Tapos sa props naman, ganon din, yung mga nababanggit na dala ng characters, kunyari yung sa page 51, yung baraha ng nanay ni Arkadina, magazine ni Constantine, ganon. O yung pagpatay ng kandila ni Poliana sa page 54. Tapos sa sounds naman, same din sa lights, yung sa page 51, yung masamang panahon, ganon. Tapos nabanggit pa sa page 54 na umuulan nga, tapos merong marahang tunog ng piano sa malayo, tapos yung humahalimuyak na hangin sa sounds. Then, so ganon, may effects din na ganon. Tapos sa other naman, katulad sa iba, kapag may binanggit na gagawin yung character pero hindi sinabi kung saan mismo, kunyari yung sa paglabas nga ni Constantine, sinabi na lalabas siya pero di naman nabanggit kung saan, ganon. So yun lang po, sir. Thank you po sa pakikinig. Bye!